Well, good evening, everyone. It is time for K8 Weather Now here on our streaming channel, K8 Now. And if you're new to this, which I think we're still getting people new, getting people
acclimated.
used to what streaming is. People have asked, what time do you stream? And I just say yes. It's just like, it's just whenever we want to. The good thing is most of you have the K8 Weather app, and when we're going to go on with K8 Weather Now, we will just send out an alert and go on. Sometimes it's for severe weather, sometimes it's for snow. Of course, if we're in severe weather, we're usually in the storm center, but we did it last week, some leading up to the snowstorm, and
I think it'll be a thing. We'll use it a lot, especially before severe weather events.
Yeah.
So like say it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe me or Christina in here before a weather event, before the storms actually are to Region 8, kind of talking about things and then transitioning back into there for more wall-to-wall type of coverage. I think that's a good kind of use for severe weather. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's cool about it is there's no time restrictions. So we come on, we talk, and what we're doing tonight is actually discussing some of the worst winters we have had.
How did this come about? How did
that's what I was about to say. So you kind of started this because, and we also found out in this process that Jonesboro specifically doesn't have great snowfall climate weather log data.
Yeah.
We don't have good history, but you started it because you were trying to figure out how long have we had
at least 3 inches.
At least 3 inches of snow on the ground. And what was it that you found out on that?
So at the time that I noticed it, we had 7 days where we were at, I think that was Saturday or Sunday that I looked at that. We had 7 days of at least 3 inches of snowfall on the ground. I asked the National Weather Service, kind of looking back at records, because they had posted that it was their all-time record in Memphis. And so I was curious about what our all-time record was. They sent me the data, but it stopped in 2023. So not a complete set of data, pretty close to it. But 19 days was the record going back for the total amount of time with.
And it's kind of felt like 19 days, but that wasn't the record. Yeah, we haven't been 19 days, but yeah.
Which was interesting. I think that was 1918. Don't quote me on that one, but it was
pretty far back. You posted it on your Facebook page, so it's there. Yeah. And so then it got us kind of wondering, okay, but people naturally just started going, well, I remember back in fill in the blank.
It's always oh, this year was way worse than that.
Everyone always is like, no, this was worse. This was worse. Well, something I think you learned on here, everybody compares anything bad winter to the 2009 ice storm.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, so of course we're going to talk about the 2009 ice storm here in just a minute. But the 2009 ice storm, for a lot of people, they remember it. But we had some things in there where people were spouting out years where I was only 6 months old. So we had to go back and look at some of the old weather logs. But here's something funny that I have figured out about people's memory, and this isn't malicious, nobody's lying, people just have false memories, is that we don't always remember what we remember. So I can remember when I started a long time ago, and we came really close to having some snow on Halloween, and somebody said, oh, we had snow on Halloween before, and I was like, really? And so what I did is I went back and looked at October 31st snowfall, and I couldn't find any. And I was like, are y'all sure it snowed on Halloween? Yep, snowed on Halloween. And I was like, I can't find it. Yeah. Well, what the story was behind it, and I believe it was 93, the story was they had moved Halloween because it fell on a Sunday.
Okay.
And so everybody just kind of naturally moved it.
They were like, let's do it on Saturday.
So it was actually snowing on, I think, October 29th, the night of, on a Friday night.
Gotcha.
So that was perplexing. So you always have to pull these climate logs to kind of get an idea of what exactly happened. But what are some of the ones people brought out?
Yeah, those top ones were obviously 2009. That was one of the bigger ones that we had out there. There was also the winter of 98 or 78 and 79. Kind of that one was labeled as a big snow. We had multiple big snow events there. I shouldn't say we. I guess there was. I was nowhere near alive there. 76 and 77. So that was another one. That one was really just a lot with extreme cold. Didn't necessarily have as much with snowfall there, but extreme cold there. 93 and 94, another one. 01, and then the winter of 2000, which that one's another one that I thought was pretty interesting, doing a little bit of some deep dive back into that one, because there was it was not just one storm, it was like a bunch of different storms that kind of impacted during that one.
So what made 09 obviously so different was 09 was a straight up ice storm.
Mm-hmm.
And you see here of where the trees were just covered. We had 2 rounds of it, Mike. It came in and we were like, oh, this is horrible. And then we had another round come in. And there were people without power for weeks.
That's awful.
The weight of it, it changed how we handled tree trimming. Prior to this, no one ever wanted their trees cut when the utility crews came by. And then, of course, that changed when after this, everybody started thinking, okay, you can cut whatever tree you want to cut down because they don't want it to hit on the power line. Yeah. But I mean, you can see the limbs falling.
Yeah,
and the sound that was going on through that was just
like that popping.
Oh, it was wild. Yeah. So, quite an experience, and now I think everyone still has PTSD from that, because you can see it just knocked out a lot of the power.
I think that was one of the big things that we got with this last winter storm was everyone was just talking about, is it going to be like 09, and are we going to see freezing rain like 09?
Right.
Which thankfully we didn't see that with this last storm, but you can see there in those pictures, that's well after the storm, all the ice is melted there, but the damage continued for months and years after. So
let's take a little flashback to 09 for just a second. This is the newscast from back then. Let me see if I can get some audio on here.
Got a little more hair there.
I do have a little bit more hair. I thought I had some audio on here. I don't guess I do.
Ice storm warning there, it looks like, for Jonesboro is what we have. I would say that verified.
Yeah, that verified. The models handled that very well also. Sorry, I thought I would have some audio on there. The models handled this very well, and I'll sit here and fast forward it, but you can see this was kind of the first round that was coming in.
So it looks so light and kind of...
It was, but when you deal with ice storms sometimes, light sometimes is almost worse. It's almost worse because it gives it time to stick to the surfaces. But let's see if I can get some of the model data.
And then over into Stone and Izard County, it's starting to ease back just a little bit. If you project this over the next 2 hours, we're tracking this heavier batch that's back here. It's going to start coming into our southwestern counties.
The models did really good on
8 o'clock. Notice it will start coming into Independence County, places like Southside and Wakefield. By 8 o'clock,
09 definitely will always go down as a rough one here.
We had some quotes too. So looks like one user said, this was in reference to your post, but they were said, I'm going to say 09 ice event for 400, Alex. So they were kind of treating it like Jeopardy there.
Yeah.
My uncle told me that they were without power for 30 plus days. That was Brad Jenkins. Comment on your Facebook post.
Yeah, from 09.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember 2 things I remember about power outages. I was out on the weather deck one time, and I was commenting how we were lucky that we still had power.
Yeah.
And I said, well, we're real fortunate. And it's almost like when I said fortunate, the generator died here. Another time I was driving into Paragould when the entire city lost power. And it just looks weird. Yeah,
I'm sure that was really,
was really wild.
That was probably really crazy.
All right, so what we're going to do is pull some of the old climate logs. First, I'm going to take us back to 2000. So a lot of people mentioned 2000. So I pulled some data from Corning, Jonesboro, Kennett, Newport, Paragould, and Pocahontas, and they specifically talked about Christmas back then. So these are handwritten logs. Looks like this one is this when the fire department did.
Yeah, so this is Jonesboro. All of Jonesboro's, I'm pretty sure, are actually no. It looks like this one got taken over, but
yeah, I'm not sure.
Jonesboro Fire Department was taking care of them. I think at least during those 70 storms, but I guess by 2000 they got a new observer there.
So here's what happened here. So if you look back early on, there was some precipitation through here, and there were some warm periods also. But look right there. It says 7/10, but there's nothing over here in the snow category. Mm-hmm. So that was all freezing rain. So we had a freezing rain event here, and probably we had a high of 40 here and an inch and a quarter. So it was probably a combination of freezing rain here. But if you notice, then we go really cold. We just kind of stay right around freezing. Lows are going into the teens. And people talked about this being in 2 waves.
Yeah.
In 2000, and that it impacted Christmas. Well, if you go Christmas Eve, we had a high of 24. Or no, let's back up. Christmas Eve, 31, 16 for the low, 14. And then we get another inch of freezing rain. And the temperatures are still below freezing. So that was a nasty one. No snow. Well, they put an inch of snow here. There may have been maybe some snow on the tail end of it there, but
something interesting too that we've noticed through digging through all these logs, but is how they vary from one station to the next, and how like their level of detail. This one's a pretty
good one. You know, I like things like this where they say couldn't get home on the ice. You see this little, the comments are always really, really cool. I tell you, 2 reporting stations that always did a really good job is Kennett, and then Pocahontas. The Benedictine sisters kept up with the weather logs here. So here's KBOA out of Kennett, and if you look back, you see in the comments section, freezing rain still accumulating. Does note that there was some thawing ice there, but if you look at these temperatures,
they're right at 32.
They're right at freezing. I mean, we got barely. But look at this inch, 1.35 after 1.21.
Yeah.
So they had a bad ice storm, and then a lot of single-digit lows through here. Looks like Kennett did not get as much rain right before Christmas. But still, with those temperatures like they are, it looks like it was a mess there. So you guys were spot on this. I'm going to pull up Pocahontas also. So they were a little farther to the north. Like I said, the Benedictine sisters there kept the climate logs. But if you look, they do note some snow through here also. They're a little farther north.
And that matches up with what I found on the National Weather Service.
Yeah.
They did a little recap history thing with it, and they showed a little bit more in the way of some snow that tried to happen between the 12th and 13th. So maybe a little bit wondering maybe if Jonesboro and those places didn't report all the way with the snowfall. Maybe they didn't fully report there, but they did report that ice was mostly to the south with that second event, so that would match up with what we saw there.
And I have a correction. This was actually Donald Waterworth, who just recently passed away. You don't know Donald. Donald was a weather watcher for many, many years at KAIT. The Benedictine sisters, Pocahontas, there when we're going to look at 1979 winter, but Donald Waterworth just recently passed away, and I mean, just kept. Also, he followed up. Same with the Benedictine sisters, keeping up with incredibly accurate weather reports for Pocahontas. So Pocahontas is really, really fortunate to have a long standing of accurate. I mean, but you can see the name down there.
Look at those notes there on the side.
Yeah, I mean, every single day,
clear. Yeah.
He gives a thing there, so that is really cool. Let's see. We'll look at Paragould there from the 2000 ice storm. And there's some notes here also. Looks like they got some snow and sleet through there as well. But you can see, I mean, we're talking several snow and freezing rain there. It's like Ashley Bar. Is that what that says there for Paragould?
Barn, something like that.
Yeah. But you can see it was really, really cold there. And look, got the freezing rain through here as well. So, yeah, 2000 was a doozy, but you know what I really came away with, I guess, out of looking back through this, which by the way, you've probably learned in the past week, I love grabbing the old weather logs and looking at old weather maps and all kinds of stuff. But what I really started taking away that I was impressed with was the 1979 winter. You know, we mentioned this just a little bit ago. It's like people are always like, oh, well, it wasn't this. You know, everybody wants to one up someone else. You know, I can be like, oh, the blizzard of 2012 was crazy.
Yeah.
And everybody, but those of you that said winter of 1979 was wild, spot on. I mean, it was. I look at it and I was like, I can't even imagine. So let's look at the logs here. And I pulled a lot of logs here. You see all the cities and the time periods here. So what I want to do first is let's start out with Jonesboro in January. So, and then we'll go.
We'll kind of go month by month.
Now, I'll say this: I'm not dogging anybody out, but the documentation out of Jonesboro was rough.
Hey.
It was rough. I can't read a lot of this. You know, it says missing data through here. it's really hard. Like I looked at this at first and I was like, I don't know how bad it really was, because there were, some warm periods, but I'll be honest, it was just kind of a mess. Thankfully, though, we've got other locations that we can check out. So let's go to Pocahontas 1979 on here.
And this was the Benedictine sisters that
yes,
you
it
talked
is.
about.
So if you notice here, just kind of looking through this, trees iced over. So not only they have snow, but they also had some ice. But this column here is how much snow is on the ground. This is how much snow fell. So a half inch, 3.5 inches, half inch. That 4 inches stayed on the ground, because if you look at the temperatures over here, they were really, really cold. I mean, we woke up at 3 some mornings there. Then we got a little bit more snow, so it kept it on the ground more. And then we got a little bit more snow, and it kept it on the ground more. And they ended up, that number right there is 8 inches of snow in Pocahontas.
For January.
That's
over a yeyearly
right, and
average.
we hadn't even gotten to February.
Yeah.
February was wild. So I almost want to just jump right into February for Pocahontas. Yeah. Pocahontas had the best data. So let's go into February for Pocahontas. And it just gets wild. Look at all these notes over here, by the way.
Hazardous driving.
The Benedictine sisters were great meteorologists back in the day. But if you notice, we got 2 inches, 4.8, 6 inches was on the ground, 4+ stayed on the ground. Got another trace here, another trace here. Looks like we might have had some freezing rain through here. Says it was foggy all day.
It looks like you had thunder snow there too.
Yeah,
thunder
plus
and lightning with snow falling.
I mean, look at this.
And then you also have, what's that, the 15th there? You get a high of 64
look at
degrees.
That, 60s.
So you get 6 inches of snow that falls. Then you get up to 64 degrees. Then you cool back down and you get snow flurries with lightning.
Is that not the wildest weather log? Like, I want to take this weather log and frame it.
Yeah.
Because Terry Wood had to be having the worst day ever. Actually, I think this was like Terry's probably first, year at
gotta be rough.
But
that's gotta be rough.
But if you look at the final numbers here, they had 7.3 inches of rain, 17.7 inches of snow.
Unreal.
So they had 8 inches of snow in January.
Yeah.
Then they got snow at the start. Mm-hmm. They had some freezing rain. They had fog. They went back into the 60s. They had thunder snow before that also. And then an 11-inch snowfall.
Unreal.
I mean, so those of you that said 1979, yeah, it was absolutely
not a joke.
Insane. So let's just look at a couple of more places. And let's just look at February, because February was obviously the wild month. Mm-hmm. Let's see if I can enlarge this. This is out of Corning.
We had a quote from somebody too on your Facebook that said, 1978 was rough and about the heaviest snow I recall seeing in my lifetime. The kids in the neighborhood had a path beat in the snow that was waist deep.
That's funny.
Crazy. I'm guessing that was February.
Yeah, that's probably. Somebody said they missed 31 days of school.
Man.
31 days of school.
That makes the last 7 days look like nothing.
Yes, indeed. So here's Corning, and you can see they had 5 inches of snow here. It slowly melted away, got a little trace, got another inch, got 9 inches here, and it looks like 14 was on the ground right here, with a total of 19.5 inches of snow in Corning just in February. So
crazy.
Good stuff. That would be wild. I mean, for it to stick around that long also.
I can't imagine how tired everybody was of the snow at that point.
All right, let's check out Kennett, because like I said, they had some really good...
that's pretty good keeping there.
Yeah, good keeping here also. If you notice, a couple inches, melted a little bit, got some more. They were sitting at 4.3 there. But it looks like snow stayed on the ground all through here. And then got another 5.5 inches there. Maybe. Anyways, it looks like they ended up with 15 inches of snow in Kennett.
Impressive.
So, can't read that. Is that Jeffrey Schuler? Maybe?
Something.
Yeah. Dunklin County had good.
Didn't NWS not have
that was only January.
Dang.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah. Because, that was, yeah. And then February was even higher in Kennett.
Yeah. Well, So they had 8 inches of snow. Read the comments here. Winds up to 50 miles per hour the night of the 24th and the morning of the 25th. Blizzard conditions in February of 1979. So
do you know if there's ever the last time there was a blizzard like warning in Arkansas?
2012.
2012.
It's Christmas night on 2012, so it wasn't that far away. We knew there was going to be snow. We knew it was going to be windy. Obviously, we don't talk about blizzards a whole lot here, and I remember waking up on Christmas morning and looking and seeing red on the screens. So the only thing that's red in our scrolling at the bottom is a tornado warning and a blizzard warning, and we had a blizzard warning, and I remember thinking to myself, wow, we have a blizzard warning. Like, we knew it was going to snow, we knew it was going to be windy, but yeah, blizzard warning.
Gotcha.
Fun times. So
that's been a hot topic lately out there in North Carolina about how if their system was a blizzard or not.
Yeah. You know, it's one of those things. There is criteria. You know, you have to hit a certain wind threshold for a certain amount of time for a lower visibility.
It doesn't have anything to do with snow totals. Nothing.
Right. Really. Yeah, it doesn't.
You can get an inch of snow and technically still get a blizzard if it met those criteria.
Now, they've tried to clean that up a little bit with snow squall warnings. But here's the deal. If I get 35 mile per hour winds here and it snows for a couple of hours, I mean, everybody's going to say, man, there's a blizzard outside.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Criteria is criteria. But
yeah. Do we want to look at any more of these? Let's say, which other ones stood out?
I didn't look at the Mammoth Spring one.
Out of curiosity, I did pull a March one of Jonesboro.
Some warm days in there.
They were out of forms, you know. They went into the 70s. So look at that. After do you know how great these 60s and 70s probably felt in March?
I bet there was some severe weather there somewhere between.
I bet there was too.
You get 23rd, 24th. You go from 70 to 45.
Yeah.
I suspect there was some severe weather there at some point.
Did I pull any more Marches?
I don't think so. What about Mammoth Spring? What did Mammoth Spring?
I agree. That's farther north. Let's see what that. I saved it for something, so let's see. Trace of snow.
And this is February.
4 inches. This is February.
Total of 7.
Total of 7. That's interesting. So there must have been like a heavy band that set up between Jonesboro and like Pocahontas and then faded off.
Yeah. Or the whole band was just kind of a little bit farther south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we ought to do is pull these logs and try to
find some radar.
Draw a map and see if we can get a radar. Challenge accepted. Or you know something else?
What's that?
Back in the back of KAIT, we have some old videos.
Some old tapes.
Just go pull some February 1979. If we do that, we're going to stream again later this week, and we're just going to show you 1979 snow video.
That'd be cool. That'd be pretty cool.
Little history.
We'll have to start. Maybe sometime we'll do like once a week or once every couple of weeks we do like some type of look back with like old tape data like that.
So not exactly weather related, but we have all these old archives back in the back, and man, there's these huge tapes, and I've said to management before, I said, I just want to come back there, we'll call it Throwback Thursday or something, and just grab a tape, look at it, because there's a list of what's on the news, and just say, you know, we want to watch this news story, and we just put it on YouTube or social media or something, and just look back at old news. I don't know, I just think that'd be cool.
That would be really cool.
But you know, I'm literally, when we sign off from here, I'm going back there and looking at February 1979.
Let's go.
All right. Did anybody have any questions or anything? Let me look real fast.
Other winters, though, some cold ones. Somebody said in 1993 there was a big ice storm. Colleges didn't let out for class until this storm. Colleges canceled ever since. I feel like that's like almost every school system or something like that has one event that is the reason why they are a little more cautious with like canceling and that sort of thing.
Somebody asked, when was the last time 4 corners of the state saw winter weather during the same system? Did we have all 4 corners? I don't think Southeast Arkansas. No, they did get ice.
They did ice.
They got ice. Yeah.
Northwest had snow.
They had snow.
We had snow and sleet.
Jacob Pace is asking that. I don't recall one.
Did Southwest have anything? They may have just had rain. No, I think they had ice too. They had ice too, because it started as ice.
That's a great question, Jacob. I'd have to pull some maps on that one, I think.
I bet it's not as rare as we think.
Yeah.
I bet there's some.
Somebody said South Arkansas got hit hard in the 2000 ice storm also. Yeah.
Yeah.
That they did. I don't have a whole lot
they
of
got
questions
hit,
on
but
there.
the second one was the one that they got.
Yeah.
They got almost 3 inches in parts of South Arkansas with that second one. So they had their 2009 9 years before.
Yeah.
So
not fun. But that was fun looking back. And you're going to post some of this.
Yeah. So I wrote up a little web story.
Yeah.
I'll post that web story, and we're going to clip like this whole entire
thing if you want to go back and watch it and
share it out. And
when you have that on there?
Probably sometime tonight. Probably sometime tonight.
All
so
right. Unless I have you back there looking for videos.
Yeah, unless we get caught away with.
How funny would that be if we're just like, all right, we're going live again at 9:30. We found video. No, what's funny about these videos though, you have these huge
they're
tapes.
big.
They're huge, and we do have players back here. But anybody that is Gen X and older knows that if you put a tape in something, it can be eaten. Do you even know what eating a tape is?
Kind of, not really.
Okay, so it's got the film that's inside of it,
Yeah.
and so when you put a tape in, it actually pulls that film out and plays it through the player.
Okay.
Well, if it's an old player, it will eat the tape.
Like, literally eat
and
it.
so then you pull it out, literally the film is still coming through there. So we're going to try to not have that problem also.
Yeah, don't want that. We don't need to destroy any of the tapes.
No. All right, so let's it's Kate weather now, so let's chat about the weather for just a little bit also.
It was foggy out there earlier.
Oh man, we had snow fog, which was I think the fog really formed. I took your graphics. I'm gonna take your graphics away. I really think what we had was two things. The rain fell, which the temperatures were in the 40s, and it fell on obviously frozen sleet and snow, evaporated, caused snow fog. But I also think right on the edge of the clouds, it got sunny real fast, and the temperature went up to 50 degrees, and we had northwest wind. So then you had warmer air blowing across the sleet and snow also. So you almost had a combination of snow fog and probably a little bit of an advection fog.
Yeah.